Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and this one is sharing my new release from Funky Fossil called True Colours. It is being shared on TV today on Create and Craft, and you can buy it from my website and also from the Create and Craft website if you'll remember. So here I'm playing in the large craft journal. I've added some clear gesso to the page and gone in with one of Dina's brand new colours. This is Sapphire, and I'm just having to water it down a little bit just to make it move around on the page in the craft journal. It's quite thirsty, this substrate, and then I'm just going in with a bit of white while that sapphire is still wet and just adding a bit of a different tone onto the background just to bring a bit of relief to that very, very dark colour, using quite a dry brush for that bit as well. So next I am going to be using my floating stencil from Funky Fossil. This is one from a previous release. So at the time when I made this page, I didn't have my new stencils that are with the release. So I just played with some of my older ones to bring some stencil interest to the background. That was turquoise that I pulled through that one. Actually, it might be malachite. Again, another one of Dina's new colours. Just adding some of those lovely circles onto my page. This is my Starlight stencil, and I'm going in with a bit of white paint through here just to bring a little bit of text onto the background too. Using a blending tool for this. So this stencil's got quite fine details in it, so this is one that I probably really should have started washing quite a long time ago, because as the paint builds up you do start to lose some of those finer details from stencils like this. So yeah, and also of course don't have too much paint on your blending tool because it will just smudge underneath the stencil. Then I'm just adding some white splatters. So with this release there are 3 stencils, a pack of collage papers in a paper pad, 2 A5 stencils, and this little mark making, 2 A5 stamps and a little mark making stamp as well. And this raindrop stamp is the mark making stamp that's to go with the little collection of mark making stamps that have been released recently. So here I'm just using blue ink to start off with, just to get some of those raindrops stamped into the background. They don't show up very well here on the video, but you could actually see them quite well in real life. So then I decided I would take that off the acrylic block and just kind of stick it to my fingers and do it that way. I did get a bit of a better impression doing that. Then I gave the stamp a quick clean and went in with some black ink and repeated the raindrops over the background. So these are the 2 new stamp sets. So there's Be a Rainbow and True Colours. And in the Be a Rainbow set you get 2 new quirky paper dolls. And these can be used in all sorts of ways. And one of the design team actually added some legs on and they looked really, really cool. I really liked it. So I'm just going to stamp one at the rainbow. I'm going to stamp it towards the top of my page because my thinking was I was going to extend the rainbow down and make like a rainbow archway for the paper doll to stand in the middle of. So I'm going to stamp that at the top, so I've got space to extend those lines down later. And then I'm just going to stamp one of the paper dolls at the bottom of my page so that I can add some colour. So this is a mixed media paper that I'm using, so it's a nice weight and it will accept lots of wet media because I'm going to be using scribble sticks to add some colour to these images. So the first thing to do is to pull my rainbow down. So this is a fountain pen that's got carbon ink in, which is waterproof. So once it's dry, it will be okay to then go in and use wet things over the top of it. It won't smudge. So I'm just pulling those lines down, and then all I'm going to do is continue the pattern that's already there. Really, really easy. And as long as it mostly looks the same, it will work. Because there's going to be colour over the top of it as well. It'll be fine. I was kind of just checking that it was long enough for the little image to fit in the middle, and it was. So these patterns are not that tricky that you couldn't kind of do this yourselves. Super easy, just circles, leaves, and like that sort of scallop pattern. Really easy to just continue down to the bottom. So you can extend these images as well. It kind of makes them really, really versatile. So once I'd done that, I then started to think about adding some colour. So a really quick way for me to add colour to things like this, as you will know, is to use Scribble Sticks or Neo Colour 2s. I've also got Tim Holtz's Distress watercolour crayons. I have to start using those as well because they work in a very similar way to these, and all of these things give a different look. So here I'm just using a water brush to collect some pigment off the stick and then just pulling it onto my paper. So continuing with those colours, not minding if they bleed one into the other, I'm okay with that. Doesn't really bother me. It's just going to look really pretty, isn't it? Because these are rainbow colours, so you know what's not to like about this. And there aren't any colours next to each other that are going to make brown, so if they do bleed, it's all right. So I've used a mixture of Neo Colour 2s and Scribble Sticks to do that, and then I'm going to do the same with the little figure at the bottom. Just going to add some colour onto her hair and the skin and body, just to give those a little bit more interest than just being black and white. So then I've cut them out, and I decided I wanted to just add a bit of white behind the central image, just so that she wouldn't get too lost on that background. Although most of it's going to disappear once she's stuck in and the arch is over the top. But it does just calm down that central part around her. So I think that worked quite well. So I just used a blending tool to do that. Gave that a good dry, and then I'm going to stick her in place. So a little bit of double-sided tape on there and a bit of glue stick as well. So just because this is mixed media paper, it's a little bit thicker than like printer paper. I wanted to make sure it would stick properly, so that's why the two sorts of adhesive with the double-sided tape and a bit of glue as well, just kind of making doubly sure that it's not going to come out. And then here doing the same with the rainbow, just bobbing a bit of glue on there and then sticking that in, giving that a good press down. So once that's in place, I'm then going to use a Stabilo oil pencil and just add a little bit of a shadow to one side of the rainbow, just to help pop it out a bit from the background. Just water activate that. Look at that, kind of brings it to the foreground a bit more. Nice easy way to achieve that. Just making sure it's stuck in. Having just thrown some water on it, it's then of course lifting on the edges, but it all sticks eventually as it dries. Then I'm going in with a Posca pen and just bringing a bit more contrast onto the page, just pulling some dots across the page. This seems to be something that I often do. I like these little habits that form. And then going crazy and adding more white dots, and then I decided I would add some black dots using my Dotty stamp, which is well loved. And that's black archival ink that I've used to stick those on my page, to stamp them on. I'm just re-inking my pad there because it gets a lot of use. It dries out really, really quickly. Those little re-inkers are really, really useful. And then I wanted to add some words to my page. So on one of the stamp sets, there is this quote that's advice from a rainbow, and really cool little sentences about advice from a rainbow. So I stamped that onto a piece of card, and then I decided I didn't want it to be in a block as it is, as you can see. So I'm going to cut those sentiments up into sentences and then spread them down my page. So just showing that, you know, these are quite versatile. You can use that as a whole quote as it is, or chop them up like this. And definitely using very big scissors is easy for this, because then you can do that in one motion, just chopping through. Then just using a bit of PVA glue to stick these down. I'm just going to layer them down the left-hand side of the page at different angles. And that was pretty much, I think that was this page completed. So come back again to see some more inspiration using my brand new release. Don't forget you can also check out the video on Fun with Funky Fossil Designs if you want to see last Wednesday when me and Sarah shared the release and we both did a little bit of creating on the live using it. And also you can go to the Create and Craft TV channel to see Sarah showing it on there as well. Okay, so you can kind of see how this has come together. If this kind of floats your boat and you're interested, head over to my website and have a look in my shop. You can find these things available for pre-order as well. So here is the finished page. Really pretty. I'm loving all this rainbow inspiration. Lovely. Right, so thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video and I hope to see you again soon.